When we think about evolution, we usually picture a ruthless contest. We imagine a world where the strong dominate, the weak are left behind, and survival goes exclusively to the fittest. We often attach this cutthroat framework to Charles Darwin. Today, some psychologists use his work to argue that empathy is an evolutionary flaw, a bias that clouds our rational judgment and makes us vulnerable to exploitation. Yet human history is defined by the opposite. From ancient hunter-gatherers to modern mutual aid networks, we see communities consistently organizing to feed, clothe, and protect each other. If our species was forged through selfish competition, this drive to protect the vulnerable seems counterintuitive, a behavior that defies the logic of raw self-interest. Caring for others is a biological survival strategy written directly into our oldest fossils. It predates any modern cultural invention or religious rule designed to keep our instincts in check. To understand how this works, we have to separate empathy from compassion. Empathy, simply feeling what another creature is feeling, is a baseline trait found in many social animals. It is a quick, fleeting reaction to someone else's distress. Philosopher Martha Nussbaum identifies compassion as a reasoned judgment, a process of measuring a misfortune and making a conscious decision that another person's flourishing matters to our own. Compassion means moving past an initial visceral reaction. It requires stepping up to provide deliberate, organized care over a prolonged period of time. To track exactly when our ancestors made the leap from fleeting animal empathy to sustained human action, we have to dig deep into the archaeological record. Our search starts at an excavation site in modern-day Georgia, dating back 1.77 million years. Researchers unearthed this ancient hominin. Looking at the lower jaw, you'll notice all but one tooth is missing. The bone sockets are completely reabsorbed, meaning they fell out years before death. In a harsh environment, they couldn't have processed enough calories alone. This skull proves that someone else in the group was actively mashing or pre-chewing their meals. It is our earliest physical evidence of a community keeping a highly vulnerable member alive. Moving forward to 1.5 million years ago, we find another remarkable skeleton, a female Homo ergaster known as KNM-ER 1808. Examinations show she suffered from hypervitaminosis A, caused by excessive vitamin intake. It triggers agonizing abdominal pain, lethargy, loss of muscular coordination, and coarse bone growths across the skeleton. These growths take months to develop. For nearly a year, this woman was completely incapacitated. This survival represents a massive shift in group behavior. For months, the tribe diverted calories and protection to an incapacitated member, who could not provide for the collective, valuing her life over their immediate efficiency. By the time we reach the Neanderthal lineage, between 60,000 and 80,000 years ago, at a cave site in modern-day Iraq, this behavior is undeniable. This is Shanidar I, an individual who survived crushing trauma. He suffered severe fractures, a withered right arm, and a blow leaving him blind in his left eye. Yet he sustained these catastrophic injuries during adolescence, living to the advanced age of 50. For decades, his group carried him, protected him, and fed him. Long before anatomically modern humans walked the earth, a lifelong commitment to care had become an ingrained structural feature of society. Evolutionary anthropologist Penny Spikins proposes a 4-stage model to explain how this ability developed. We started at stage 1 with the fleeting empathy seen in other primates. But early hominins pushed into stage 2, forming deep, sustained investments in each other to survive harsher environments. That paved the way for stage 3, the deliberative, long-term caregiving fossilized in Dmanisi and Shanidar. Eventually, we reached stage 4, where humans can project abstract compassion onto remote ideas or people we've never even met. This progression mirrors a concept introduced in 1902 by philosopher Peter Kropotkin, known as mutual aid. He argued that while competition exists, voluntary cooperation and mutual aid are the true dominant mechanisms driving a species forward. This chart shows genetic variation across different populations. Our DNA is remarkably homogeneous, pointing to a time when our ancestors were reduced to a tiny founding population. They relied entirely on shared resources to stave off extinction. Today, those ancient survival strategies are still at work. Low-level acts of everyday kindness and community support act as an invisible infrastructure. They are the practical mechanisms that make modern life livable. Empathy and compassion are biological hardwiring. They are the core components of a survival strategy that prioritizes group stability over individual competition. This capacity for sustained care enabled our ancestors to navigate the bottleneck of the Pleistocene. It is the specific evolutionary tool that allowed our lineage to survive when so many others did not.